It's more like, I feel like as a woman doing it, like that's, and she did do sex work, so that's why she's viewed still in a sexual manner. And even if she fully believes that that's not herself, I feel like she can never get away with that, and that's unfortunate. But I feel like that's why I was asking that question, because if it was a man doing it, you know, he doesn't have boobs to show, and you know what I mean, maybe she's an outfit that shows that, right. But is that her intent, or is that what you're, you know, seeing from that video?
That's what I'm seeing, and that's what I just observe as a third party. Look at the comments. I mean, look at what the guys are saying that are watching it.
She'll never be able to get away from that, and that's what's sad.
But she could cover herself up. I mean, like, again, like lowering the sweater, so and then making sure your tits are pushed. I mean, you could obviously not do that. And again, you can make the content about the thing you're doing. Go ahead.
I mean, okay, hold on here. No matter what somebody's wearing, men are always going to find a way to sexualize. I'm not saying all men, but they can. They have the ability to, and they certainly do. Our industry wouldn't exist if they weren't paying for it.
Right.
So clearly there's a demand and they want it.
Right.
But not only that, you know, kids, women who have been victims of stuff that I don't want to say out loud and all that. It didn't matter what they were wearing. And there's been several displays out in Europe and in the U.S. showing, like, of all ages, of all sorts of outfits. I mean, I'm not defending her, but I'm saying no matter what somebody wears.
Is that the rule or the exception to the rule?
What do you mean?
Are those unique circumstances, or is that every man, like that's the general rule for men, or are you highlighting exceptions to the rule that actually are important to be discussed and things that we need to be critical of as a culture?
Here's the thing, though. Everyone is different. You can't generalize, because that's one of the 7 fallacies. It's a hasty generalization. You cannot.
It depends on what you're talking about, but when you're having a general conversation about dating, you do make generalizations, and that's important for the conversation.
97% of all, you know, SA happenings, the perpetrator is a man.
I dispute this claim.
Look it up.
I dispute this. Well, here's the interesting thing that you're conveniently ignoring. So, for example, in many jurisdictions, the crime of grape categorically cannot be applied to women. For example, or they'll say men cannot be victims of this crime. They can be victims of other forms of SA, but this specific thing, and it's this very disingenuous thing that typically feminists do, where they say, well, 99% of rapists are men. Well, if the definition itself
I'm talking
legally,
about people who offended children.
Well, actually, just to be clear, I think the rate, if you look at, for example, female teachers, the rate of them essaying their students is exceptionally high.
I mean,
and then additionally, the incidence of moving off of SA to just general violence, mothers are much more likely to unalive their children than fathers are to unalive their children.
It's a fact.
It's called infanticide. Women are far more likely to commit infanticide.
Right, but more than 50% of all girls who have been assaulted, it's by a family member usually, and it's usually the father or the brother or the uncle.
I mean,
so,
I'm happy to engage with you on your point, but I think you're kind of, this is a bit of a red herring. He's talking about under the purview of Christianity, there's a component of modesty that should be observed. He's not, as far as I understand, making some sort of argument that, well, because you're trying to say, well, even if women dress modestly, they get raped.
Yes.
I don't think we even dispute that. He's just saying, under the purview of Christianity, Nala's out here being a strumpet, and that is not commensurate with the Christian faith.
Right. But one of his main points was, look at the comments. And it doesn't matter what the comments say, because there's men putting comments on children's stuff too. So it doesn't matter what the comments say, because those are all opinions. If she's going to church and then they give her that feedback, or she's got a community of believers and they're giving her that feedback and she's still not following, obviously that's on her. But I'm just saying, for you to give men in the comments more validation than
my point regarding the
women.
Comments, it's the way that people are receiving it. So I'm not judging her based on what men are saying. My point is, look at how people are receiving the content. And the content, it has her licking spoons, her tits out, like doing things that are very sexual. Yes, she's baking something. But again, if you just compare it to other traditional wife, like Instagram accounts, the camera's focused on the things. And sometimes you'll see their face or they're explaining something, but usually they have a long dress on, they're covered up.
Yeah.
And so the content is about the actual stuff. Her content is really about her. And that's what my point is in regards to, hey, just step out for a second. Just like get out of the attention economy that is so consuming. And again, I mean, we've talked about OnlyFans, like the industry, like that is a thing that actually draws women in, is that you can get so much attention. In a sense, that is power and that is a currency. And that's all I'm saying is just if you're in that industry and you're trying to now change a new leaf, like why don't you do that just for a little bit so people can see the full sincerity of it.
But I just don't think like the feedback from these men in the comments, especially online when it's easier to be a bully online, should be where you determine whether or not she's wrong or right. I mean,
my point is like they're simping for her, so they're making sexual comments about like what she's doing, so they're interpreting it as very sexual.
Right.
My point is it doesn't matter. I'm not judging her based on what they're saying. My point is, look, here's content, here's the audience. I'm just observing the how it's being received.
So it's specific to both variables.
Yes, that's
okay.
I'm not blaming. I'm not saying, oh, we need to look at her all the young men comments, the simpy fans, and then judge her based on what they're saying. No. I'm saying, okay, here's the content. I'm aware of her context and her transition. Okay, interesting. Now let's just look at how it's received, and you look at some of the way it's being received. They're receiving it as very sexual.
Right. Okay.
We have some chats here coming through. We have Creamy. What the fuck is this name? Creamy Seagull. God damn.
Creamy Seagull donated $100.
I don't know. That shouldn't be a TTS, my mistake.
6'4", conservative/family-oriented kind of cologne, a girl or a spends too much time at liquids kind. If it's the former, let me know if we can grab a drink sometime. I'll DM you. Solid 5.5 here.
What the fuck?
Waste $500.
Hold on. One sec. Sorry, that should have came in through as read. That was just a setting that was unchanged. So Creamy, God, that's a weird, you gotta change your name. I charge a simp tax. If you are simping on any panelist, you have to send in another message. So you have to send another 100, and you must. I guess you got to apologize to me, to the men in the studio, and then just to the world in general for your simpery. Okay, thank you for that, though. Appreciate it. All right, let's see here. And if you guys do want to get a message in, $100 read. TTS is $200. We're going to go through the rest of the notes here. We have, going back to Lucy. Lucy Goosey, my favorite.
I actually say that as a joke on set.
Lucy Goosey?
I'm like, Lucy Goosey. It's a joke.
I love it.
Is it? No.
So you said you were on a date with a guy, and the guy you slept with the night before came up and told him to have fun. You know what? You just say it.
You really want me to?
Yeah, you can say it.
Okay. I was on a date with someone before I started in this industry. I was probably like 21, 22. And this other guy that I had, slept with, he came up to the other guy and was like, have fun tasting my, nut.
That's fucking disgusting. Oh.
I guess I had seen that other guy like a few times, and he really liked me. So I think that he just was upset to see me on a date with someone else.
Has that happened before, or was that the first?
No, that was the first time.
Okay.
For that instance, yeah.
Yeah. You also wrote people date in the adult industry way more than they do outside of the industry, which is interesting to you. I think we didn't really talk about that, but you said you agree with a lot of the points that Brian makes. You're just contradictory towards yourself being in the adult entertainment industry.
I feel like we covered that kind of, like me being like in a battle
Morally
in my head.
Contradicting. Yeah.
You said you'd love to talk about gender roles and being raised traditional, but still choosing to do the career. So when you say you were raised traditional, are both your parents still together?
30 plus years.
Okay, and they're married, or?
Yes.
Okay, and are religious, Christian, or?
my dad was raised Catholic, and my mom was like Catholic. I think she's like in Catholicism, but yeah. And then they decided to break away from the Catholic world, but they still held on to like Catholic morals. So I still had like the roots of Catholicism, so to speak, just not the religious aspect of it.
Okay. All right. And then you wrote, as far as modern dating goes, part of the reason you decided to get involved in the industry was because you were tired. You were tired of dating and not getting satisfied in the bedroom, yet every guy you've been with felt it was cool to film you during carnal knowledge.
Yes.
So, okay, you got into the industry. One of the other reasons you got into the industry is because all the guys prior to it were, or maybe most of them were bad in bed, basically.
No, I don't know. I had dating now, I feel like outside of corn, like outside of even like, OF or adult entertainment, I just feel like it's like really shitty nowadays. Like just dating in general, like on both ends for the guys and the girls. And that I feel like everyone can agree with that.
What do you think's contributed to that?
I think honestly, I don't know. Like, it's just this day and age. A lot of girls, and I'm not just saying just girls, but girls. I mean, the sex industry is like rising and rising by number, and a lot of girls are making a lot more money. Like, I'm not saying that guys make more or girls make more money than guys right now, but a lot of girls are growing to make more money than like the typical guy nowadays. And like, I feel like I don't know, guys I feel like are not stepping up to the plate as men, and I feel like girls are starting to become men.
What are men not stepping up to the plate? What does that mean?
Does that make sense? I don't know.
Does that mean they're not making
like
enough money? What does it mean they're not stepping up to the plate?
Like, oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna get so much like hate for this. Please don't hate me. No, I feel like guys have taken a step down because girls have taken an alpha step up, if that makes sense. And I don't mean that like offensively. I just mean that like I've seen a shift. Like women have really like made a stance to like, like we've pushed, like as women, like we've pushed hard to become, equal and just be seen as equal and just like financially equal. And I feel like we've pushed past that threshold, and now we're like alphas in a sense. Not fully, but yeah. And I feel like men have like kind of just, yeah.
Do you think that dynamic actually, like they bring each other together? Do you think the alpha men out there are dealing with alpha women? Or do you think they're finding traditional women that actually are submissive and want the same things in regards to traditional roles?
I mean, I think that still happens.
So
I just feel like the percentage of that has dropped like tremendously.
Yeah. Do you think religion and tradition has anything to do with that? I mean, like, what is?
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like tradition has died over the years, for better and for worse.
And the normalization of sex work is one of the things that is sort of deleterious to our culture, and to again, young men that become addicted to masturbating and watching the stuff online.